In a surprise move, Nigeria's Federal Executive Council postponed consideration of the memo on the new minimum wage during their meeting, allowing President Bola Tinubu to engage in more consultation with stakeholders. New Central Business Correspondent Perpetua Fasanmi-Peter samples opinions of Nigerian employers, employees, analysts and economists on the long walk to a new minimum pay. Here's her report.
A proposed minimum wage of 62,000 naira is currently before the president for assent, even as organized labor insists on 250,000 naira monthly pay. And for the organized private sector, that is too much for them to pay. Well, I'm here to gather the thoughts of Nigerians to know what they think about the minimum wage.
Honestly, with the cost of things right now, averagely, I think 100K is just fair.
Minimum salary that each one should be receiving should not be less than 150,000 naira.
For many respondents, anything less than 100,000 naira is nothing. However, this is not a one-way conversation, as there are many dynamics to it.
So when there's an increase in wage, it means that businesses will have to pay more for labor, their cost of services, cost of production tends to increase. That's where the government monetary policy and the fiscal policy now tends to play. They have to put in the shock to make sure that inflationary triggers don't go above.
We should begin to look at how to devise a means that the minimum wage for civil servants may not necessarily be the general minimum wage for SMEs, because that may actually cause a lot of issues.
I think we should look at the differentials in the cost of living across different states, and also the differentials in the capacities to pay. We cannot compare the capacity to pay of the federal government with the capacity to pay of some state governments or of local governments.
Equity seems to be the word here, yet some analysts believe otherwise.
So if the private sector is increasing price, everything is increasing. It now comes to paying. You now say that you don't have money. So what have you been doing? What part of your cost is salaries and wages? It's part of cost. So if you are saying cost is what has driven prices, why is the cost not inclusive of cost of labor? We have to be fair to ourselves.
For many Nigerians, the ideal minimum wage, or salary as the case may be, should be around 250,000 naira per month. But given the current economic climate, the hope for an agreement around 100,000 naira monthly between the government, labor and the organized private sector. Here at News Central, we will continue monitoring the situation. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Perpetua Fasanmi-Peter.